This guy makes $250,000 cleaning homes from his laptop?
I took 6 vacations and the business continued to make money.
Here's how one discovery turned into his ticket out of the 9 to 5.
I got fired. I had no idea what to do. I felt like a failure. It's 10 p.m. I'm sitting in a parking lot an hour and a half away from my house, and I'm thinking, is this my life now? 4 customers actually booked cleanings before I launched. The only problem was I didn't have any cleaners yet. Suddenly, we're having $20,000 months.
Nice. So what's the bare minimum that somebody needs to get started in this business?
Yeah, it would be...
All right, Dan, a couple years ago, you're a dude struggling at a Wendy's parking lot trying to figure out entrepreneurship. And today, you're living next to the beach. I mean, we're a few blocks away. You're running a business, going on vacations as many times as you want. Before we figure out, you guys, how that happened, tell us what we've got planned for today.
So yeah, we're gonna start here in my office today, and we're gonna check on the operations. Usually that's from like 8 to 10. Then we're gonna head out to a vacation rental property, kind of check in and see how the cleaners are doing there, show you guys a little bit behind the scenes. Finally, we'll check in on a commercial property that we clean and give you a little insight there as well. Finally, we'll head back to the office, finish up some marketing tasks for the day, and that's it.
What does a typical morning look like for you, Dan? And what needs to be done before we head out to the actual job sites?
Typical morning starts around 8 o'clock, and it's a full operations check is what we're doing. So we're logging in. I have a remote team in South Africa that runs a lot of the operations and sales. So basically just checking in, making sure there's no call outs, making sure everyone's getting to their jobs. And you know, when you wake up and do the ops check, sometimes a cleaner's calling out or they can't make it to their job. And in the vacation rental world that I live in, back-to-back turnover, 10 a.m. checkout, 4 p.m. check-in, you got to figure it out. So a lot of times it's getting on the horn and figuring out who can make that cleaning.
Ooh, the pressure.
Yeah.
Right now, let's get in our cars and drive out to the job site.
Perfect.
All right, tell us about this customer and anything else you want to share with regards to just customers. Like, say, pick the top 10. What are they spending with you on a recurrent basis? Things like that.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is a model vacation rental that we would do down here. And customers like this, they're very high frequency. So what that means is multiple times a week, these places have to get cleaned because they have guests coming in and out all the time. Now, as far as what they spend, it's variable, but my top 10 customers alone, some spend $10, $20, $30, even $40,000 with us or more.
On a monthly basis?
Not on a monthly basis. Just that's kind of like customer lifetime value in terms of that, yeah. But those top 10 customers alone, just 10 customers have brought my business over $200,000 in revenue.
200K,
yep,
10
just for
customers.
vacation rental customers.
Makes it sound pretty easy, not simple, right? But
yeah, not simple. There's a lot of moving parts, but yeah, a little bit of marketing and make a relationship. And if you keep that customer for life, the Maid game is 100% customer retention. So if you can make that work, it's easy from there.
It's a win-win.
Yep, win-win.
Did you always want to be an entrepreneur, and why the cleaning industry?
No, I really had no idea. I had always done like little stuff on the side. I had a couple of LLCs where I tried to make valve oil for trumpets and stuff. Nothing really interesting that ever took off. A lot of times it was like my procrastination or the general fear that I had stopped me from doing it. So in terms of cleaning, I actually came across Neil's story online, and he said that it was the only vacation rental cleaning franchise in the nation. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I live in Myrtle Beach, where everyone's vacationing all the time.
Bingo.
So I looked into it a little more. There was 14,000 plus short-term rental units here in Myrtle Beach.
Wow.
I was like, if I could get maybe 0.5% of those, I could have a pretty viable business on my hands. So that's why cleaning. And actually my family has a vacation rental down here as well. A couple of times my cleaners had called out on that vacation rental and I had to do the cleaning. So I'm not a cleaner by trade, kind of forced into it, but that also gave me the idea of like, this can be done better.
What's incredible is you didn't know how to clean or run a cleaning business, right? And so the highlight here is you don't really have to, right?
No, in fact, we work with contractors here, so I don't have to go out and do any of the cleaning. All of mine is managing business growth, customer acquisition, operations, so yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's go check out the inside of the unit.
Perfect,
See what
sounds
they've done
great.
here. What were your startup costs? Talk to us about some of the challenges that you've personally faced and what you learned through that process.
Yeah, so startup costs, the initial franchise fee, and I wanted some money for marketing is what that came down to. In total, I didn't have good credit, right? I didn't have a lot of money saved up, so I took out a loan for $50,000, personal loan, 14% interest. That was all I had for startup costs. I probably wish I would have had a little bit more so I could have been more aggressive with marketing, but all in all, I made it work.
So you had zero is the reality, because you borrowed most of it.
Yeah, if you're asking me how much money I had, nothing, no credit, no money, no anything. Yeah, so.
And you still made it happen.
I made it happen, yeah.
Were you at all worried about getting into debt? I can imagine that's a big leap of faith. How did you know that it was all going to work out?
Well, number one, I didn't know it was all going to work out, man. It was absolutely terrifying. This was the biggest financial decision I had ever made. So absolutely terrified. The way I rationalized it with my fiance at the time, now my wife, was like, hey, if I bought a car for $50,000, there's no way that thing's ever going to pay me a dime, right? I'm not going to Uber in it. So I kind of rationalized like, the car will never pay me back. Even if I only do this halfway and I get some of the money back, I'm still better off if it totally fails. That's a really bad way to rationalize things. But for someone who is just full of fear, I was like, dude, even if I can make like a little bit of money, at least I can throw it toward that debt and not have to worry about it.
You bring up a good point because over a quarter of our viewers bring up fear of failure as the reason for not starting a business. So what's your advice to them?
Man, I don't know if you should follow my advice, but my advice is just do it. If you think you can do it, you absolutely can. Like, especially with the MaidThis system, systems are there. All I had to do was read the blueprint and plug it into my market. For the franchise route, I felt incredibly supported the whole way, which also gave me the confidence. A lot of times I procrastinate. I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. If I don't know how to do something, I'll put it off. Then when it's time to do it, I'm totally overwhelmed with like the amount of work. All the fear builds up and I do nothing. So having the franchise there was probably also a big linchpin in my decision to go ahead and take out that loan.
So why the franchise route? Did you ever think you could maybe just start a business on your own and start from scratch?
Yeah, and you know, some people did say, why don't you just do it on your own? I'll be honest with you, when I first met with Neil, the owner of the franchise, he told me how much it was to get started. I shut the laptop and said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I talked to my fiance and I was like, I don't have that much money. I had a couple other meetings scheduled with him. I could see how genuine this guy was. He just wanted to help and really help me learn what to do. When you meet an internet stranger for the first time, yeah, there's really no clear path to, is this guy trying to scam me or is this a real deal? How genuine he was really made a difference for me. So I decided to do it when I was able to secure that funding, and I made the right decision because the support system is probably the number one thing for me about franchising. It makes a big difference.
Do you always show up to job sites like to interact with the cleaners, say hello? Why is that important for you? And then is that the only way to do it?
It's not the only way to do it, and I don't do it all the time. The most important critical moments for me are when we onboard a new vacation rental property, when I get the lay of the land.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then meeting with new teams as well. Make sure that they know the systems and the processes and can access the apps that we use. It can be done 100% remotely. You don't have to run it like me and live in your territory. One of the franchise owners who owns a Florida location lives the opposite side of the country.
Oh, wow.
Never stepped foot in a house, never met a cleaner, doing over $50,000 a month in revenue.
If Dan's story set your ambitions into overdrive, we would greatly appreciate it if you take a second, hit that like and subscribe button. All right, well, let's get out of this place. Let's go check out a commercial client, which is a gym, right?
Yeah, it's a local gym down the street, so let's head on out.
Cool. All right, so this is your commercial client.
Yeah, it's actually a new sector of the business that we're kind of jumping into here, yeah.
Nice, okay. We'll talk more about the commercial versus residential a little bit later on. I'm curious where your revenue is for today and what kind of margins can you share with us? I know it's a franchise, so there's some regulations there.
Yeah, this month we'll do about $40,000 in cleaning revenue.
Not bad.
And then in terms of margins, the industry average is about 15 to 25%. And I think a lot of that has to do with the business at scale. There's a lot more fixed costs up front when you're starting a business. And then as you grow, those fixed costs don't really grow with you, so.
Can you break down where the revenue sources are?
Absolutely. My business here in Myrtle Beach is about 70% vacation rental. That's a big industry down here. About 25% is residential, so just like someone coming to clean your house. And then a smaller portion, like this gym here, 5% commercial.
Gotcha. Which ones do you like the most?
Yeah, I guess personal favorite, a lot of people like the easiest one, and I'd say residential cleanings are probably the easiest. Monthly, bi-weekly, weekly cleans, they're a little more forgiving than a back-to-back vacation rental turnover in terms of time frame if something does happen during the day. So yeah, those are probably my favorite.
How much are you spending as a business in Myrtle Beach per month on marketing?
Yeah, it comes down to about 5 to 10% of our revenue. And what that breaks down to is about $2,000 to $4,000 a month in marketing. The places that we spend the most would definitely be SEO, about $1,200 a month. Then we have a couple other levers that work really well for us. Google local service ads has been huge in my market. I can spend anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 on that in a month. I want to spend as much as possible because those leads convert really well. Finally would be like quoting engines, things you've seen them like Home Advisor, Angie, Thumbtack, whatever. Some of those work, some of those don't. In the beginning, those were very helpful for me, but more of a means to an end as the organic traffic picked up.
Dan didn't build the next big tech startup. He didn't invent a new app. He helped clean houses and turned it into a business that earns over $250,000 a year. Because that's the thing about entrepreneurship. It's not always about flashy ideas. It's about being smart with how you start. And the smartest way to start your business is with Busy. Where most business formation tools feel like they're designed to confuse you and are stacked with surprise fees, auto renewals, and overly complex legal processes, Busy keeps it simple. They've helped over 1 million entrepreneurs form their LLCs, stay compliant, and even manage taxes, all with clear, one-time pricing. No subscriptions, no tricks, just what you need when you need it. Busy's not backed by investors. They're bootstrapped, privately owned, and focused on one thing, helping set up your business for success. That's why they even include a free registered agent plus state fees for the first year of every newly registered business. So join the millions of others who made the choice to start smart and launch your business with Busy today. Check the link in the description to learn more. All right, Blitz time with Dan. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. What's the most number of cleaning jobs you've booked for a single day?
21.
21. Okay,
Yep.
That's the record so far. What's the most you've made in a single month? Gross.
Like $40,000
Okay.
revenue, yep.
Not bad. What's the best and worst part of owning a remote cleaning business?
Best part is that I don't have to clean. Worst part is that, boy, I don't know. That's a tough question.
You're still looking for one. Okay.
Yeah.
How many hours do you work per week?
It depends. It fluctuates anywhere between 5 and 20 hours a week on this business. Yeah.
What surprised you the most about entrepreneurship?
How much easier it is than people like to say it is.
How do you relax after a long day at work?
Walk down to the beach. It's 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Who's one entrepreneur, dead or alive, you'd love to have coffee with?
JD Rockefeller, the philanthropist? I don't know, man. I have no freaking idea.
If you weren't doing cleaning or this business, what other industry would you see yourself doing or being in?
Yeah, I think the home services industry is awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe window washing, pressure washing, like it's kind of cleaning, but yeah, the home services are where it's at.
For sure. That's a wrap. Tell us more about the commercial client here, like the scope of your work. How did you get this relationship? Anything interesting?
At this gym in particular, you got to vacuum this turf here that we're standing on. You got to mop and sweep the floors. You do have to touch all of the machines, right?
Wow.
Not necessarily all the free weights. So there's some time added there. They got a couple of bathrooms, a red light therapy room, and of course, a couple of offices here. So for the most part, it's somewhat like a residential cleaning when you think about it, with the addition of the biggest time investment here is wiping down the machines.
Yeah.
And it's about 4 hours on each visit, actually,
Oh, wow.
wiping those machines down. So we give him a bit of a discount because I've known the guy forever, the owner of the gym, but it's $200 each visit, twice a week, so about $400 a
Quite
week.
the investment on their part.
Yeah, so that customer, you know, just 5 customers like this can be a $100,000 business for you.
Wow. So if somebody wanted to start their own MaidThis location somewhere else, what's the bare minimum? Like, let's say I have $500 to my name. Where do I go from there?
Yeah, so you don't really need a ton of money to start this. I borrowed money. I had my mom and family help me with cosign a loan. So don't need money, need an internet connection and a laptop for sure, so you can get through the training. And I would say for me, I needed to have the commitment to do it. So I reached out to MaidThis. I actually DM'd them on Instagram. And then from there, you have an interest call, you do some exploration, you actually get to do a lot of your competitive analysis up front. So you know whether or not your market's gonna be a good fit and kind of learn the ropes about what it's gonna take to be successful in your area.
If you're looking for a complete blueprint on how to start and grow your own cleaning business from scratch, check out the UpFlip Academy's course by Chris Mondragon, who's making $145,000 a month. But if you want more hands-on support and a much, much higher chance of success, we highly recommend the MaidThis franchise. We've secured a special discount for you guys. We love franchises because they come complete with systems, support, and an 80% success rate. And that's exactly what UpFlip is working towards. How do you go about pricing? Who determines how to price your job here in Myrtle?
Yeah, so a lot of our pricing is actually standardized. So if you go on our website, you'll see that vacation rental cleanings, there's quotes for, you know, certain thresholds. If your home is X size or whatever. Same with residential. And there's quotes for deep cleans, bi-weekly cleans, whatever. But yeah, pricing a job like this really just requires a walkthrough. Come in and see what the actual business owner needs, and then kind of ballpark exactly how long it'll take. You know, wiping down the equipment, maybe a few minutes for each one. Multiply that by 50 and you kind of have
a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll ask Dan later on how he does competitive analysis, so keep watching to find out. In what ways do commercial clients differ from residential? I know we've touched on a few things here and there, but what does it boil down to? What's your advice to securing more commercial as opposed to vacation rentals?
It's a little bit more legwork. I feel like a lot of our digital marketing totally geared toward residential customers, vacation rental customers. The MaidThis system just introduced a new AI integration where you can cold call and cold email a ton of these commercial customers for you, thousands every month for a really low cost. But outside of that, you have to come and really see the place, right?
Are profit margins higher here or about the same?
The margins are about the same, actually. The real difference is these customers can be really sticky. And what I mean by that is the business owner doesn't want to have to go through calling a bunch of different cleaning companies all the time. So there's a little more leniency here and you can work to make things right. So if you find a good one and you do a great job for them, they can last for years.
So you have a sequence of automation that fires off the first call as soon as the lead comes in. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the goal is to answer every call that comes in as soon as it does. But if for some reason you can't, immediately the customer will get a text, let them know you're busy, whatever. There's so many automations that MaidThis is built into my business for me. After you send them a quote through our software, they'll get automated follow-ups. You'll have a task scheduled to follow up on the quote as a call. All that's kind of done for you. These pipelines are working automatically to give you the highest chance to convert the leads that you're spending money for.
Sounds like a lot of work, but who's doing this?
MaidThis does it all for me. Like all that stuff was set up when I joined in, and it keeps getting better every day. In terms of who's actually making the calls, I have an ops team, a remote ops team out of South Africa that does that, but the actual automations and building those pipelines, totally done for you.
How tough is the setup? I mean, I just as a real estate agent, like when you switch CRMs, the setup, I mean, it's a nightmare. It can be. So what was it like for you?
I'll tell you what, we've switched it, I think twice since I started.
Have you?
And this Go High Level is our newest iteration. And the tech team at MaidThis transferred all of my contacts and did all the heavy lifting for me.
Nice.
So when we do have to
sleep
switch.
well at night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You have phenomenal reviews online, customers who spend close to 40 grand with your company. What's your secret to wonderful customer service?
Yeah, there's a couple of basic things that you can do. Number one, if new customers in your system, follow up. Like give them a call, make sure the cleaning went well. If it wasn't, MaidThis as a 24-hour happiness guarantee. We make sure that the problem they originally had, which was they want a clean house, is actually taken care of. Beyond that, all my new customers, I actually send a branded postcard. As soon as they sign up with us, I'll say, welcome to the MaidThis family, and I'll drop $5 Starbucks gift cards in there, say, relax, have a coffee on us. Little things like that, just to make the customer experience stand out, be unique and special. And inevitably, when you do have a problem, that's really your first chance to win that customer for life. Not that we're inviting people to have bad experiences with us, but that's your real opportunity to make sure that they really are loyal to your brand.
What's your process for hiring and finding just amazing cleaners, talent, etc.?
Yeah, so we actually have like a 5-step vetting process. So first one is have them apply, right? So we have our cleaner marketing, labor marketing going all the time. So once they come in, some of the automations that MaidThis just built out will automatically filter them into people you want to call based on their experience and answers versus people that just aren't going to work out. So a lot of that work's done for you. We have a first round call, a second round, like official interview. We do background checks. We put them on like a initial or test cleaning just to make sure they're going to show up, test their reliability, their communication, and their ability to clean. I use my friends and family love me because I send out new cleaners to clean their homes for free. That gives me an insight as to those 3 pillars. Finally, we do a full onboarding call with them to get them integrated into our systems and set expectations properly.
Any horror stories, anything you want to share with us specifically when it comes to hiring the right people?
Oh, yeah.
What did you learn through those lessons?
Yeah, so the first story that comes to mind is there was one weekend where we had too many turnovers than I could handle with my current team. This was very early on. I had to call my mother-in-law to drive 4 hours up and clean with my wife. I felt so bad. I was so embarrassed, but the reality is it turned into like a nice family gathering and the time was well spent, but I knew I had to keep building my stable of cleaners and always be recruiting.
You could have canceled the job though, right?
I could have, but I would have lost those customers, and good vacation rental customers worth about $10,000 a year to me.
Oh, wow.
So
You
yeah,
gotta go out of your way to...
the other part is with those vacation rentals, the guest is checking in. No one's stopping them. So if they walk into a dirty home,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that violates one of the MaidThis core values and our guarantee, never a no-show guaranteed, meaning that we're gonna show up and clean your place before the guest gets there. Not good.
Man, good for you for going out of your way.
Yeah.
Calling your mother-in-law of all people.
I know, and we were married for like 6 months.
All right, man. Had enough of this gym, running out of juices. Let's go back to your office and wrap up the day. That's normally what you do, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Let's go work on some marketing tasks.
All right, I'll follow you. In what ways has your relationship to money changed with sort of the success you're experiencing and going after?
Yeah, people who know me, I'm always been a little tight, a little cheap with money. I never thought that, just payroll this week was over $5,000. So using money as a tool has really become part of my daily routine now. I never thought I'd have expenses like this ever, but it's driving a vehicle. It's like fuel for the vehicle, right? So when I first started, I was absolutely terrified. I only had like $10,000 for marketing in the beginning. And 1 month was $2,500 down. I was like, I'm ruined. So
25% of my budget's gone.
Yeah, it was gone. So for me, it's really changed my relationship with money greatly, actually.
Looking back, what would you say has been sort of your biggest mistake so far, and what did you learn from it?
A couple of years into this MaidThis journey, I pulled back on my marketing spend a little bit. I was getting anxious to be more profitable and see those numbers kind of go up. The reality was my growth from year 2 into year 3, it just flatlined, right? Because I wasn't spending money on marketing like I should have, which is what got me there in the first place, right? I guess it was more like the stats and the ego and like, hey, let me give myself a little bit of money for all of this, like extra what I already was paying myself. It kind of tanked the trajectory that we were on.
So the lesson learned is be patient, right?
Yeah.
Take the profits later on. What did you learn through that?
Yeah, and it was profitable, but I felt like I deserved it. Like not spending money. The customers will know my name. We have 100 reviews. Everyone knows me. I don't need to spend the money on this. It was a mistake. Like I kind of got too big of a head, I guess. This is how that worked out. But yeah, lesson learned that no matter what size your business is, if you're not spending on marketing and sales, you're just gonna go stale. Like you're not gonna make it work.
What's one thing about running this business that you think would surprise a lot of people?
You really don't need any experience at all. I was never really a cleaner. I went to school for music. There's really nothing that you have to know. The franchise system gives you all the tools you need. It's just up to you to work those systems. So as long as you can follow a plan, you're pretty much good to go. Oh, and you need a computer too. Yeah.
The bare minimum.
Yeah.
So you're also a franchisee trainer at MaidThis and a coach recently, right? So
correct. Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was the second franchisee ever. Took a big risk on the franchise, but it's really paid off. And also in terms of my personal growth, I'm helping all the new franchisees with their first 8 weeks of training. So getting down the systems, the operations, how to do sales. I run them through that program. And then I'm also coaching franchisees now as well on how to stay in business, how to overcome that fear and make it into something that can ultimately achieve your financial freedom, your location freedom, whatever you're looking for with the business.
Is that a role you always wanted to evolve into? Dude, or was it just kind of a natural step-by-step process?
I'll tell you what, I didn't know how much I loved it. Like the value that I get out of helping one person make an impact in their life or anything that, when I see somebody share their win on our Slack channel and say, I just crushed it, I did $20,000 this month.
Nice. Yeah.
They feel like my children. I'm not a father, but I can't tell you that is probably the best feeling that I've had ever. So it's a natural transition for me.
As a franchisee trainer, what have you noticed sets apart the most successful franchisees from others? Like what kind of traits stand out to you?
Definitely people who come in, they buy into a franchise because of the systems. Don't overthink it. Just take action, especially when it comes to marketing. It can feel a little bit nerve-wracking to be spending money on marketing for your first 30, 60, 90 days in this business. But if you put the money there and take the action and the follow-up, 100% this will work. The biggest thing is once your business starts getting some cash, getting some customers, you feel so much better about yourself. It unlocks a whole new level of confidence. So in short, the people who take the most action on the tools with the tools that they're supplied with, that's kind of like the ideal recipe. Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest advantage of the MaidThis franchise system as opposed to other franchises? What have you learned?
So you get the blueprint, like with every franchise. And this might sound a little cliche, but it's the support system, honestly. When I started, it was just me and Neil, the franchisor. Now we have like 30 other franchisees with us. Some of the new franchisees who've come in, they've actually taught me new marketing techniques, got me 2 new real estate referral partners.
And you guys shared that within the communication platform or whatever?
Yeah, we're encouraged to share, be open about wins, losses, everything. It really does feel like you're doing this with 30 other people.
From your previous job, which was sales, have you taken any lessons that you're still utilizing today in the work? Or didn't learn much, unfortunately?
No, I guess it was kind of aggravating being there, but follow-up is key. One touch on a lead sometimes isn't enough. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I took away from sales is use those leads as much as you can and exhaust them until you can't anymore.
How many times do you think you have to call before you finally accept a no and move on? What's your personal personal opinion?
Well, it's usually when they text me something that I can't say on camera if we're sending automated emails and texts. But for the most part, like a lot of our customers close, it's a very short cycle, a sales cycle. Most of our customers close on the first call, but if they're not ready to go or something like that, they'll be in the system until they opt out of everything. Yeah.
Tell us how you handle last minute cancellation by cleaners, right? Because you have a short window of time, especially for vacation rentals. So what systems do you have in place? What do you need to do as a business operator to make sure things are taken care of?
Yeah, we're jumping on the phone immediately. So first thing we'll do is take stock of what jobs we have and which ones are back-to-back turnovers, right? Some of our turnovers have a couple of days between guests, so we can play with the schedule a little bit there. So let's say we have somebody who's doing 2 turnovers that are not like urgent. We can swap them onto the one that was a call out. And then we might call the owner and say, hey, is it okay if this gets done a little later today? Just make sure they don't book anything in the meantime. So yeah, it's not as scary as you might think, but definitely requires a little bit more work in the morning.
Say there's 10 jobs or 100 jobs in total. How many times does it happen, cancellations? Like out of the 100, how many times will we have to shift and move things around? Is it pretty common?
It all depends on your team. Yeah. Like if you're following the process and vetting people, it'll happen much less. And also it's about building a culture too. Yeah. I use mostly contractors, but you can still create a culture. I go out, I'll visit cleaners and bring them gifts and stuff. Now, how often does it actually happen? With the right team, maybe once a week. Yeah. Like that's the cadence it might get in, but usually it's not a huge issue because we have somebody always willing to pick up the work.
So we've probably all heard that a lot of lead gen sites provide or tend to provide low quality leads. It's quite different for you. How have you had so much success with it? What's your advice for people to try and use those sites and get more leads and grow the business?
Yeah, I mean, a lead is a lead. I don't really discriminate. So I'm just looking at the numbers, the close rate, and how quickly I can get into like that customer's ecosystem. So if they reach out to me, calling them the second day, inquire. Same with email, text messages, I blow them up, always call twice, right? The reality is the closing rate on those lead buying sites, those lead gen sites, can be a lot lower than an organic call. So you just got to keep working those leads. Luckily, MaidThis has like a full automated system. Once I get them into the back end, they're getting automated text messages, emails, and everything for follow-up. The backend system's been amazing. Every day there's new updates to it. There's pipelines and things. As soon as you put the customer's information in, they're getting automated text messages, they're going on email list, they're getting quote reminders. So it's kind of hands off at that point. And then all you have to do is come in with the follow-up calls when you're prompted and close the sale.
Are you personally spending a budget on marketing, or is that part of MaidThis? I don't know, so I wanted to just verify.
No, great question. It's a mix. So MaidThis takes care of everything SEO. They take care of all of that so that we rank organically. Does that make sense? Yep. I've never had to learn it. It's been awesome. And you pay a low monthly fee for that. And they do the whole suite, social media and everything. And then the franchise owner is responsible for things like Google local service ads for local service companies, Thumbtack, Bark, Home Advisor, things of that nature. That's where your marketing dollars would go for lead generation.
Okay. So you go at times from 7 contractors to 15 to 20 during peak seasons. How do you manage that rapid expansion, that back and forth, slow season, etc.?
Number one, you always have to be recruiting. So over time, I think we've looked through a little over 4,200 applications in the last few years.
No joke.
That's
a lot of apps.
It is. So we keep a lot of the people who are good fits kind of on the back burner if they're not ready to start now or if we don't have the capacity for them. So when you have to do that expansion, it's actually kind of interesting that sometimes people just want to work and make a little extra money on the weekends.
Okay.
And even though we average about 7.5 jobs a day this time of year, on the weekends is when the bulk of our work is done because people are usually vacationing from Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday. So it's actually nice if we have 15 teams, maybe 8 or 9 of them are full-time, and then the rest are part-time that want to just help out on the weekends and make a little extra money.
How big is your list of vetted contractors at a given moment?
Oh my goodness. Like I said, 4,200 applications. I think it's less than 0.5% that we actually have tested and want to work with. So not huge, but it's, I mean, 0.5% of 4,200 is still large. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Briefly touch on doing a competitive analysis. Like, why would you do that as a business owner, specifically for MaidThis, etc.?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I had to do it just to figure out pricing, right? Like, where are we at in the market? How competitive can we be? And to kind of figure out if the numbers were going to be there. In terms of ongoing in my business, it's important. I do it about once a year, to the fact where I kind of know the other business owners that are my competitors. So how I do it, kind of the secret sauce to our competitor analysis, yeah, would be I just call the cleaning companies. I'm actually a customer of some of the other companies. I can get into their back end, see what kind of prices they're charging, extras that they're doing. And then we have a vacation rental here in town with my family, so I can use other companies for that, check out their processes. And then in terms of recruiting new teams, I can call and, I know, look, gray area here, but I call and be like, hey, I just moved to town. I'm a cleaner. How are you guys, gonna get me on board?
Right.
Employee, contractor, what should I really pay? So you can kind of figure out a little bit more about your market, what you can charge, and what the median labor rate is, just by making a couple of phone calls.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing wrong in doing that. Don't restaurants do that? Or what do they call them? Like angel people that come in, pretend just to see how the service is.
That's secret shopper and all that.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, I think it's more common than you would think. So I thought maybe there was an ethical boundary there, but dude, no, everyone does it. So
yeah. From time to time, you'll get an unhappy customer, right? Sure. It happens. It's the real world. What systems do you have in place to make sure that they're satisfied at the end of the day?
Yeah, number one, you haven't made it until they hate it. People are never going to be satisfied with every aspect of your business. Some people are just out to get you. No, not really, but we do have something in place. It's the 24-hour happiness guarantee with MaidThis.
Interesting.
So yeah, if we have a great system for follow-up, the day after any new customer, follow up to make sure their cleaning went well, also to ask for the review, right? If they had a bad experience with us, first thing we do is a reclean. So if they're not happy with any of the areas or there were any areas missed, we offer a 24-hour happiness guarantee where we'll come back in and clean those spaces without any additional cost to the customer.
How often does it happen? I mean,
once in a while. Usually people call in and they just want to complain and you'll hear them out, but it's a small portion of the customers.
Gotcha. Good. So you were so afraid of success or the potential opportunity of success that you kept a waiting list of customers, right? Instead of actually hiring cleaners to get the job done. What was that all about? How did you overcome it?
Looking back, horrible mistake, but I was honestly just terrified. Like, if we have 20 cleanings today, it feels like nothing. But back then, if I had 3 or 4 in a day, I was like, there's no way I'll be able to service it. So I think just the repetitive action of going through and following the system that we have, but recruiting more cleaners, I was just afraid to put in that work. And I was like, if I make a mistake, what's gonna happen? If I get a 1-star review, is the business gonna fail?
Yeah.
All those things have happened. We've unfortunately missed the cleaning. We've gotten 1-star reviews. Like, the world didn't end. My business is still running and it's better than ever. So
nice.
Yeah, it's
Take action.
Exactly. Take action, and the fear is just in your mind.
If you can go back to that Wendy's parking lot moment, tell us what you would tell your old self and really give us a little context. What's happening in that time of your life?
Yeah, so they call it a 9-to-5, but it was a traveling sales job, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, up to 100 miles between appointments. I just started MaidThis. I was in training and doing check-in calls before I launched, and my meetings were at 9 o'clock at night with the franchisor. My last sales meeting went late, and boom, I had to push it till 10 o'clock. I was sitting an hour and a half away from home in a Wendy's parking lot. The only light was from the iPad for this meeting. I was exhausted, I was overwhelmed, and I really felt like excited as well, because I knew that I was gonna change something soon. Now, if I could go back to that moment, I would just tell myself, honestly, just quit the job now. Just go all in on it, is really how I feel. Because what I was doing then, I was getting a small piece of pie, working for this company, busting my tail. And I knew that I was creating something where I would control the slices of pie and who got what. So if I really could go back, I tell myself, the money's coming, the work is going to be hard, but you'll get there eventually.
That's amazing. I mean, I think that's a lot of people can resonate with that because they have the 9-to-5. They do want to start something else on the job, but the question is, when do we go all in?
Yeah, and I did hear something recently as well. Action negates fear. The more you can just do, the less you'll be afraid, right? Because the reality is nothing bad is really going to happen to you.
What's one of the most powerful systems that you have in this business to make sure things run smoothly?
I would have to say it's our CRM, which is provided by MaidThis for us. It's Go High Level, and we have thousands of contacts in there of people who have reached out to us, been quoted by us, past customers, current customers. That runs on autopilot every day. When I log in for those tasks at the end of the day, the marketing tasks, I have a call list on there. So my sales team, my operations team knows exactly what to do every day to make sure none of the leads are falling through the cracks.
So out of all things, if that's one thing that would disappear today, it would be a world of trouble.
Yeah,
right?
It'd be devastating. There's no way to manage the leads because we get a lot of them. And if we weren't following up, we're just hemorrhaging money for nothing, and no customers are getting acquired. So yeah, if we didn't know what to do every day on the sales side, it'd be a mess.
So knowing what you know now, with all the experience you have, if you were to start from scratch, how long do you think it would take you to get the business to where it is today?
Yeah, well, even though I'm in a franchise system, trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. There have been thousands of other mistakes I didn't have to make because of the franchise, which is awesome, but I probably think I could get there in about a year's time. And here's why, like, I would go all in on marketing. I mentioned earlier that I took my foot off the gas a little bit. Big mistake, it kind of stalled our growth, right? I definitely have a lot less fear about finding and retaining great cleaning crews and talent. And the franchise system has grown too. I was the second franchisee. So all of our systems and SOPs are so much better. Anyone coming into our system today is going to have a complete competitive advantage over me starting a few years back. Good case in point, some of the franchisees that have only had a year under their belt are superseding what I'm doing in this business already.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an episode, right? If you've enjoyed Dan's story as much as I have, I highly encourage you guys to check out episode 166 with the founder of MaidThis, Neil. Seriously, you don't want to miss out. Take a second, like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.